continue in the discipline, it says that'll get you far and you'll be able to eat of the fruit. But why? Why don't we see the fruits, or why don't we see the results? Because we've been going about things the wrong way. We get a little idea in our brains and say, I'm gonna do it like this. And it's like, well, bro, how does that hold up in the Bible what you're choosing to do now? Or sis, how does that hold up in the Bible what you're choosing to do, that mindset that you're choosing to stick with? It doesn't. And that's why there's no growth. Right. But if you have a consistent pattern and you stay consistent, well then that faith in the Most High is there, and you know that you're in your power, in the sense of doing the will of the Most High and handling your position and staying in your zone and allowing the Most High to handle the rest, well then you're gonna start getting that growth and you're gonna start being able to eat of the fruit. But then when you're hard-headed, when you're stubborn, you keep wanting to push your way and you keep wanting to hold on to certain thoughts, this is what happens. Read verse 20.
She is very unpleasant to the unlearned.
You ain't learned. You've been under tutors and governors. It could have been 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, year, 5 years. You've been under these tutors and governors, but you have a thick brain. That ground that's been plowed ain't really been plowed that good. And the seeds that's been putting in has been falling on useless soil. You ain't been growing. You haven't been getting any understanding. You don't understand why you're going through why you're going through what you're going through. Because you're set up. Most High moves brothers and sisters like chess pieces. He puts a couple together. He's supposed to work on her, and she's supposed to work on him. He puts brothers together. He's supposed to work on him, and he's supposed to work on him. He puts children around. They're supposed to work on us, and we're supposed to work on them. It's like what I was kind of bringing out earlier. One set against another. But it's to bring out the perfection. But if you don't understand or have the faith in the Most High that you're where you're at for a purpose and to grow, and you constantly don't see the benefit in it, and you constantly want to go against the understanding or have that lack of faith, this is what happens. It's very unpleasant to you. It's a trial. It's always something wrong. I don't know why. You're worrying so much. You become a worrywart. Anxiety starts to take over. You have situations like what I was saying about his family member. Anxiety. I've been through anxiety. I know what anxiety is. I know what anxiety is. I know what depression is. Right. Been there, done that. Put a smile on and moved on. Got the wisdom. Did what the Bible said. Because whenever that spirit comes around, you know what verse should always come out? If you've been growing, verses should just be popping in your brain. You might not know the book, chapter, and verse, but it should quote in your brain. Whatever things is lovely, whatever things is pure, whatever things is of a good rapport. Right. Think on these things. Right. Bam. Anxiety, cast out. Depression, cast out. Oh, I hate my life in this situation, cast out. Because I guarantee you've had more good situations in this atmosphere that you've currently been in than negative. But guess what? The negatives gets highlighted way more than the positive. Because people tend to look at the negative more. That's why it says she's unpleasant. The wisdom, the work is unpleasant to the unlearned. Read on.
What are they unlearned? What are they unlearned in? This type of person, what are they unlearned in? We already know they ain't got no wisdom. That's why they're coming to get it, right? Mm-hmm. Right. So it's not that they're unlearned in wisdom. The wisdom of the Most High, what is it that they're unlearned in? What?
How to apply it and what method to use.
No, they don't know how to apply it because they don't even have it. You're moving too fast in the progression. What are they unlearned in? What?
What comes to my mind is they're unlearned in what they need to grow in.
That's a definite. Y'all are there. Y'all are dancing around the answer. What are they unlearned in? Why is it very unpleasant to them? Why is wisdom unpleasant to the unlearned? We just talked about it. Why does it? Just think about it. Why do things become unpleasant? Something that's good becomes unpleasant. Why? Go ahead.
Because like you don't want to do it no more.
But why? You're right, but why? Why doesn't a person... You could be wise like King Solomon and have everything that King Solomon had. Okay, well, let's do it. Dang, I don't want to do that no more. Why does a person's mind change towards what they're trying to achieve? What?
They're not disciplined.
That's part of it. God. They're not understanding. They're not understanding how to attain. They're not understanding that it's not their way. The way is already laid. Think about it. There's only one way to plow and sow. If you want to go back to that, there's only one way, right? Mm-hmm. So where do people get thrown off? Like why do people in school they get kicked out of school because why? They wanted to learn their way, right? They thought they were going to go in class, fall asleep, or talk back to the teacher, or do all these different things, and get their degree. But does it work like that? Can you walk into school and disrupt the class and get your degree? No, right? You got to do it the way it's already been done. This is how a person gets a degree. They show up on time. They sit for 4 years. They listen to the teacher talk crap. They write it down on the test. They pass. They go home. But when you try to invent your own way of learning, what tends to happen? Do you learn? No. The learning experience becomes unpleasant because it's not on your terms. See, the unlearned person has to. The one thing that has to be realized. Let's just go here. Go to Hebrews 5:12. See, and this be the problem with a lot of brothers and sisters. I know I'm turning up, but I'm going to turn down. But this be the problem with y'all, man. Like, y'all come in and, again, you're the plant that needs water. You're like, well, can it be distilled water?
Can it
like, nah, we ain't got distilled water over here.
Reverse osmosis?
Yeah, so we get water? I only take the osmosis. I only drink Topo Chicos. And you know me, I'm Perrier, peach flavored. Like, man, you better take this water. Because all that peach and carbonated and all that, you don't need that right now. You need the basic water from the sink.
Dang.
Tap water. That smells like farts. That's the water you need, right? But see, the problem is you're trying to dictate the light. Well, I always say it like, well, you know, that light's too strong for me. I need UV bulbs. You know, I need that soft white light. Mm-hmm. Well, no, all we got is sunlight over here. Sunlight and rainwater. Well, that's just a little bit too acidic for my taste. It's like you can't try to dictate the water and the sunlight that the plant's given if you're the plant. You just got to be ready to receive. Right? You receive the water, you receive the sunlight. But what's the problem with trying to dictate the water, how you're watered or how much sun or what you're given? What's the problem? Well, because you're scared and you don't know that it's for your benefit. So you automatically get into reject mode, rejection mode, right? And you get to a certain stage in your growth, and what happens? You reject the very things that's supposed to make you grow. The first principle of growth is subjection. How does a man grow with his wife? Well, somebody got to be subject to who? To somebody. How do children grow into mature, loving, healthy, productive humans? Don't they got to subject themselves to their parents? So the first principles to growth is subjection. again, to something that's going to show you and help you grow. Right? Read it. Hebrews 5 and 12.
Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12.
Go ahead.
For when for the time ye ought to be
See,
teaching,
when the time you ought to be a teacher, go ahead.
ye have need that one teach you again.
Why? Because it's not about age. It's not about your maturity level. It ain't about none of that. It's about, do you know the information or not? Do you have what it takes to help yourself grow or not? And if so, why haven't you been growing? See, we get caught here. Well, I should know this. So I'm going to just go dip off to myself and teach myself. Yeah, I'm going to be around, I can't be around y'all until I get myself right.
Oh, how many times you heard that?
I'm going to get a tattoo that says, I can't be around y'all until I get myself right. I'm going to get a tattoo on the headband.
Yeah, I don't want to bring these spirits around y'all. So
Yeah.
I'm going to just be to myself and deal with it and come back stronger.
When does that ever happen? No, you come back with more demons on you. You come back with more weed smoking demons and more crack demons and more lust demons. You don't get yourself better.
Nope.
Especially if you weren't doing it in the first place. That's why you came in. Because you wanted to get better. Because you didn't have what it took for your own growth, which is not, there's nothing wrong with that though. I don't understand why people act like there's something wrong with not having all the tools and the answers. None of us had the tools and the answers. Nope. I had to sit with a brother and he had to help me grow. They got to sit in him and Locker Rob got to sit, right? And get gone into and get talked to and I love you, brother, and all these things for them to grow. Same thing with y'all. But look, truth be told, we the same age, right? He's older than me, actually. He's older than me.
Yeah.
He looks better.
Look younger.
Yeah, he looks like a young stud, right? God. Right?
I don't got the grades.
Because he's making me gray. All them problems, right? It's making me gray.
Because I'm doing what the scriptures say. I'm going to him, counseling, talking about
right, y'all wearing me out, man. Damn, you're making me go bald and gray.
I know
right?
he's already bald.
Bro, no, I wasn't. I got pictures. I got evidence. Bro. I had a full black beard and hair.
Dang.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Really? Like, it says Houston?
Yes. Yes. I got photos. I got the receipts.
God.
But the point is, when you ought to be a teacher, you need someone to teach you again. Why? Because your information is skewed. What are you going to teach if you weren't able to teach yourself and help yourself grow? Well, let's plow and sow. Go ahead.
Which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High.
Go ahead.
And are become such as have need of milk.
Read.
And not of strong meat.
Right, we got to start you over on this process of growth, of learning. Y'all see this? Go back to Ecclesiasticus 6.
Verse 20.
Right.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 6, verse 20.
Right, so the unlearned has to be taught again. The unlearned has to be taught, but it's one thing. Humility and subjection. That's it. Let me give myself to the situation and let me be willing to hear. Let me be willing to hear how I'm going to grow, what I need to grow. But a lot of us get to this point where it's time for you to hear and you dip out. You gone. Man, the brothers, man, I don't know. I don't know what. It's always some damn excuse. That's the point. I'm saying, that's like every excuse. That's what I hear. I hear, wah, 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 wah. Charlie Brown talk.
Charlie Brown teacher.
Yeah. Man, my money. It's always like money or this. My wife, she's well, you could get her in order if you got in order. Your money might get right if you got right.
I don't like the way the brother talking to me.
Yeah, Quadazab, he's a little mean and forward. So, what I got to do with anything? What I got to do with your growth? But see, that's the point. You're looking at what's being given, you're looking at how it's being given and not what's being given, right? You're looking at, I don't like the way it's coming. Who gives a damn? Listen, if you were starving, Right? Because I seen it. A bum will eat out the damn garbage can. He don't care how it's coming.
Right.
As long as it's there. Right?
New sustenance.
Trust me, you starve long enough, you don't care where it comes from and how it comes, as long as it's there. But that should be y'all's minds. Man, I've been starving. My spirit has been starving. So it don't matter how it comes. I'm going to take it. I'm going to put it and internalize it and use it for my growth. I'm going to nourish myself. Because no matter how I come, guess what? He don't come like me. And neither does he. Right? We're three different individuals. So what's your excuse now? I'm just the mean guy that you're looking at? What, because I'm mean? And he's too nice? And he's too quiet? What? What's the excuse? Right? What's the excuse? Should it matter? Or should what we're saying, when you ask us questions, when you come, when you're dealing with situations, and we say, well, listen, this is the way I would go about it. Explore this idea. Look at this way of thinking. Look at this way. Look at what the scriptures say over here. Shouldn't that be let me gobble that up? But it's like y'all want to gobble up the emotional part, the tone. The tone of voice is what gets y'all, ain't it? Okay, let's try it again. Let's try it again.
It's the tone of voice that gets y'all.
Is it my tone of voice? Is it my tone of voice that gets you guys? Should I turn down a little bit, boys and girls? Brothers and sisters, should I smile more? You ain't gonna get that from me. Sorry.
Right.
You'll get that from him.
God.
That's why he's here. He's the balance. That's why he's there. He's the balance. The first thing you gotta learn is you gotta subject yourself, man. No matter how it came. You want to be a Buddhist warrior? Because you tell the Buddhist warriors how to be a Buddhist warrior? When you outside in the gate begging to be in? No, right? You have to sit there and let them teach you how to get stabbed in the gut and not die. Right? How to fast for a long period of time.
Bend bows still.
How to bend bows. Yeah, you have to sit there and let them teach you how to do it because you didn't know. But you couldn't be mad at the training, like, well, why y'all got me going through this? That's another thing. It ain't us. It ain't us, it's y'all. It's you. And I'm saying y'all. You know what? I hate saying y'all and us, but it is a y'all and us thing. It is a y'all and us thing. You know why? Because you can look at the ones that are growing and you can look at the ones that are just hovering. And it's like, okay, which way is it? It's like the Forex market. At any moment it could crash.
Yep.
At any moment it can go down, and it's like, dang, I thought, man, we was ready to bust through the ceiling. We're growing. We're keeping our heads and keeping calm and keeping cool in situations. We're not reneging on things. We're not, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it to Passover. I don't know. Like, what the hell do you mean you can't make it? That's your duty, bro. It's your duty to be at Passover. But see, we ain't dealing with that. Because if he comes with that, I'm going to say, okay, what's the problem? Let's fix it. But he knows he can't come with no, I can't make it to Passover talk.
No.
I'm going to throw that in the air like a clay and shoot that down. You crazy. You know he can't come with that. Right? Because there's a different level of understanding and growth that they're on that, I expect certain things from certain bros. At the same time, there's certain things I don't expect. There's certain things that y'all shouldn't be doing at this level. Y'all get it? Read on. We only went through like 2 scriptures.
He that is without understanding will not remain with her.
Right?
Yeah. You won't stay in the fire. You won't stay in the heat. You won't go through the situations and the issues because you don't understand.
So what happened?
There's a lack of growth and maturity spiritually. That's why you're still in the same situation. That's why you're still experiencing anxiety, depression, doubt, double-mindedness, always worried about this or that. You're worried about the man, you're worried about the woman, you're worried about the finances, you're worried about the kids, you're worried about the house. That's why you're like, you know what? This truth thing ain't work. This Bible thing, it's not working for me. That's why it says you cast it off or it be long. It's too you feel like you've been going through this too long. You're not getting the results that you feel like you should be getting. That's why it's so detrimental. It's so detrimental for brother. Like we push and try to, help y'all set goals and spiritual goals and hey, stay in the fight, brother. Stay in this.
Hold on, bro. You turning into me now. Calm down.
Oh yeah, I'm a lesser.
Calm down.
I'm a lesser fire than you.
Calm down, bro. You're getting turned up. You're getting too
What
turned.
happened? Did somebody like?
Nah,
say
nobody.
something?
No, I said something.
No, he's
Go ahead.
but
I said something.
it's really detrimental for we push so hard, like the scriptures say, knowing the terror of the Lord, we persuade men, right? So if we know this terror and what's waiting for you out in the world and how much worse your life can get, and we're trying to persuade you to push and fight and stay consistent and constantly grow, it's not for us. We're not like, hey brother, take your soldier test. Hey brother, study for the test so that you can be a soldier, so you can be an officer, so you can do more works for the Most High in Christ. It's like, you just want me to do more works for you. Oh, you're not learning. You're seeing men versus seeing what God is doing. And you want to cast this off. You're seeing the situation as a situation of it's him and not me. You're constantly looking at the other person versus looking at yourself. I don't know, my last relationship, I looked at myself so much, I kept asking brothers, is it something, me? They're like, nope, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing. Let the Most High work. Cool, well, I'm just keep doing what I'm doing, stay in my lane, and let the Most High work. Have faith. And that was my progression. That's how I started to progress to where I am now. But those of you that still have the young mind, that still immature in the spirit, how does scripture call it? Oh shoot. The scripture called it the one that's still in your youth. Those that are still in your youth. That's why you want to cast it off. We try to motivate you guys so that you can not cast it off, because what you're casting off is going to be your detriment. Being reinserted back into the world is going to be your detriment. We see it happen over and over and over again. This is not the first crop. This is not the first flock that we've seen. From when I came in, completely new faces at least 3 to 4 times. He's seen more. He's seen more. Shiraz seen more. Whole new crops. And then you sit back like, who's that brother? Or you see old pictures like, oh yeah, I remember that person. Or y'all come in was like, and see old photos was like, who was this brother? Oh yeah, he's the one that went off. He cast it off. Because when we're going through all this learning and training and this fire of affliction and tribulations in life, you feel like growth isn't happening. This isn't working out. This isn't being beneficial to me. So I need to go ahead and do something else with my life now. But it's because you never gathered the instructions in your youth. It's when now you're supposed to be a teacher, but you still must need to be taught the first principles. You're still in your youth. You're still in the youth, but that's why we try to push you to grow, so that you don't have to reflect and look at yourself in the mirror and look at your life and say, this ain't working out for me. It ain't that it's not working out. It's you that's not working out. It's us that's not working out. It's the mind that we had in the wilderness. When Moses kept trying to keep us on the right path, as soon as Moses and Joshua stepped out the way, we went right back down the same path that we was in before. Look, from there, give me Mark chapter 11 and verse 12. And this is going into how the Most High hates the lack of growth. The Most High hates the lack of growth. He's not with you not growing. Because just like how I said, brothers are trying to push, we're trying to push each other to grow. Scripture says iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another. We're trying to sharpen each other out here. But if you ain't wanting to be sharpened, you're like, this is uncomfortable. I hate being sharpened. I hate being talked to, because we're doing it on a mild level. Well, if you don't want to hear us, and then you want to go back out there, you don't hear from the Most High. The Most High is going to continue to put you in situations to try to push you to grow. Read this, Mark chapter 11, verse 12.
Mark chapter 11, verse 12. And on the morrow, when they were come from Bethany, he was hungry.
So this was when Yahushua, Jesus Christ, was he was traveling and he was hungry. Go ahead.
And seeing a fig tree afar off, having leaves, he came, if haply he might find anything thereon.
Go ahead.
And when he came to it, he found nothing but leaves, for the time of figs was not yet.
So the tree was looking all fat and flourishing, nice green leaves, but it had no fruit on it. It wasn't displaying the growth that it was supposed to be having. Why was it capping? You come in looking righteous, you got the dress, you got the head covering, you got the headband, you got the fringes on, you're saying shalom, you got the salute down perfectly. You even raise your hand and got precepts in class. Standing up and reading. You look fat and flourishing. You look like the Most High should be able to pull some fruit off of you. Read.
And Yahushua answered and said unto it, no man eat fruit of thee hereafter forever.
Look, the Most High cast out, he rejected that tree for not bearing any fruit. For looking like you're supposed to be having fruit and not having it. Faking it till you're making it. Look, that only worked for so long. If you ain't starting to grasp the concepts, you got to rethink the way you're thinking. It's not the truth that's not working. It's not the Bible that's not working. It's you rejecting and using wrong application of the knowledge.
So that means that only certain seeds were, only a few of the seeds that were implanted took hold. The outward apparent seeds, right? We know that. What is the Most High looking for from us? We said it earlier, right? You learn that Christ is black. You learn all these different things. You move from the foundation, and then you're supposed to do what? You're supposed to work on you. You're supposed to work on your love, your charity, right? Your joy, your peace, your consistency, your brotherhood, your sisterhood, your communication, right? Your lack of commitment. Israel lacks commitment like a mug, man. It's like, if it's anything to do with committing and giving yourself, nope. You still arm's distance, shoulder distance. But then you wonder why some grow faster than others. Why do some trees grow faster than others? And they be in the same yard. Well, because one is getting more light, one is getting more water. So what is it showing you? It's about what's being put on that tree. They could be in the same backyard. And this tree is over there in the shade, desolate. This tree is in the sunlight, 6-7 hours of sun, perfect amount of water. He ain't complaining. But he's over there lacking. What they gonna do with the one that's lacking? Oh, he's gone. 3 years, it ain't nothing. You know, the coolest thing about a fig tree is that they bear fruit twice a year. They're supposed to bear fruit every 6 months. So I come in and you ain't got nothing at this time, and I come the next time and you ain't got nothing. Wait a minute. Something going on here. But see, the problem is this. We're not trees. We're men. And you can bear fruit as soon as you want. What does that mean? Well, think about a child. As soon as they hear a curse word, don't they grab onto that curse word? start repeating it.
Yep.
Right? They can repeat curse words as soon as they hear it. They don't know what it means or anything, but they know it's a curse word. And they'll start repeating. You're like, no, don't repeat that. But you'll say A, B, C, D, and they'll be like, nah, I don't want to do that. Right? What am I showing you? That we pick up what we want to pick up when we want to pick it up. And we put out there what we want to put out there. So it's up to you how much and when the good fruits are going to come. You determine that. Nobody else. What are you picking up? And what are you going to put back out there in the atmosphere? What words? What works? The works is being laid down. Are you picking it up so you can run with it? Things are already established. Are you trying to grab the mantle and say, man, let me run with this mantle. Let me run with this. Let me be a part of something. Let me keep myself a part of something so that I can further my growth. Or are you making excuses? Too many of us make excuses. Where you at?
Jump down to verse 20.
Verse 20. And in the morning, as they passed by, they saw the fig tree dried up from the roots. And Peter...
No, that's it. That's it on that one. Dried up. The fig tree was dried up from the roots. Look, every time we see someone cast himself out, and we see him again, they look dried up. They move with no wisdom, no understanding, doing all kind of foolishness in the world. Just like when Quadazop told me about the brother celebrating birthdays and having an Egypt theme. It's like, what?
He literally had the dog head, the Egyptian god of the dog, the Sphinx or Anubis. He had the Anubis head on. I'm like, wait a minute. But I seen that coming.
Bro, then you got other brothers. Scriptures say you're not supposed to be shaving your beard. You know, you're not supposed to be bald, right? Smooth face.
Knock off that whole top lip.
Knock off the whole.
Now you know you can't trust no man with no top with no mustache. Any dude without a mustache, you can't trust him, man. Something going on with that guy.
Dried up from the roots. Now you, Keziah. What? No. What was it?
Come on. Kadad?
Kazaz. Now you Kadad Kazaz.
Right. Bad Hebrew names.
Bro,
yeah.
You start getting dried up from the roots. That wisdom is dried up in you. It's not there. You're moving as the course of the world. But that's what the most... Look, when Yahushua went and there was no fruit there, who was the one that made the tree dry up? Did the tree dry itself up? Nah. Yahushua moved that tree out the way. He's the one that cursed that tree. Brothers and sisters, when y'all are not trying to push yourself to grow to the next level, when Christ comes and demands that fruit of you, and you do not have it, and you just look luscious and full of leaves, but you don't have no substance, he is going to dry you up. He is going to cast you to the side. That's why I said it's detrimental to grow. That's why we keep pushing and trying to, like Lakarov, he's done many of classes. We do morning classes with brothers for them all. He's done many classes, morning class, many classes here in the school, online, about growth, about setting goals. Why do you think he's trying to, get y'all mindset onto setting goals? So that you don't get dried up. So that when the master comes, he can actually pull fruit from you. Oh, I can see the way this brother's growing. I can see the way this sister's growing. More mature, or the long suffering, the patience, the meekness, the humility. I see it. The glow. Brothers and sisters start getting glow a glow when you're in the spirit. When you've been studying and that light bulb has actually went off, and you got an understanding of the scriptures, and you're actually applying it. You look different. You move different. It's like the things that bothered you don't bother you anymore. It's like, oh, this brother used to always get all choked up over this. He don't get choked up like that no more. Oh, the sister used to always, get all emotional about this. She don't get emotional anymore. She's like smooth, even-tempered. But if you don't begin to understand and you don't start to grow, you will be dried up. Give me Luke chapter 13, verse 6. Go ahead.
The book of Luke, chapter 13, verse 6. He spake also this parable. A certain man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard.
So, Yahushua is breaking out another parable. He's trying to get us to understand things in a different way. Like we got all these classes, and guess what? A lot of classes, the topics cycle through. But we try to bring it out a different way. Yahushua is bringing this out a different way now. Read.
And he came and sought fruit thereon and found none.
Go ahead.
Then said he unto the dresser of his vineyard, Behold, these 3 years I come seeking fruit on this fig tree and find none.
How many years?
3 years I come seeking fruit on this fig tree and find none.
So that's 6 harvests. Go ahead.
Look, 3 years. Think about yourself. How long you been with the camp? How long you been in the Bible? How many years have you known about the Bible and been trying to study and be religious and have a closer walk with the Most High? And you still run into the same cycles of situations. You still find yourself in the same predicaments. The time has changed, the places has changed, but the problems still remain. The same issue. Now, is it the outside? Is it because of him or her, or because I'm in this place, or I'm in that place, or is it because of my age? No, you've been dealing with the same spirit for years now. Just like the scripture said, come seeking fruit, and there was none. What at this point, after so many times, what is the Most High gonna do? What does the master want to do? What did Yahushua do to the tree?
Can I ask a different question? Really, he said it, right? Nobody forces you into this dormant stage. But just think about it. A tree that's not trees are good for 2 things, right? They're good for giving you the fruit that's on it, and then after it stops bearing fruit, what do you do with it? What's a natural thing to do with it? 3 things: fruit, shade, and fire.
Firewood.
Right? So just think about it. Again, if we're supposed to be like that tree, and if you're not fulfilling the first main purpose, the first main purpose is what? Just hold where you're at real quick. Go to Luke 15 and 16. What is the first main purpose? St. John 15 verse 16. What is the first main purpose? Read.
John chapter 15, verse 16.
Go ahead.
Ye have not chosen me.
So the first thing, going right back to what? The first principles. You didn't choose Christ. This is red letter. This is Christ talking. He said you didn't choose me. How do we know that you didn't choose him? Because you didn't know what to choose. When you was crying butt naked in your room because he left you, because she left you, right? When you was crying because all these different things, praying to God and he heard your prayers. When you was begging, when your spirit was yearning for things that you couldn't even utter because you didn't know what to say. When you were going through your hurt, your pain, your torment, your depression, your anxiety, your ups, your downs, and you thought, oh, I'm going to take crack. I'm going to do weed. I'm going to do heroin. I'm going to drink myself in a stupor. I'm going to be sexually active all over the place. When you thought those things were going to remedy your situation, guess who was listening? Guess who was watching? When you was getting pilled up. When you was popping pills and mollies and Percocets and Xannies, guess who was watching and listening? Read it again.
Ye have not chosen me.
Right, he chose you out of that filth, first and foremost. He chose us all out of the doo-doo. Don't you get it? We all got pulled out the trash. Read.
But I have chosen you.
Go ahead.
And ordained you.
He did what?
Ordained you.
Right, so an ordained minister or to be ordained. You're literally being put in the position to do something. You're literally being given the power, right? An ordained minister is given the power to preach the word. I'm ordained to marry in this province, right? I'm an ordained minister that can perform weddings. That means I'm given the power to do something. So he said he ordained us. He gave us the power. He gave us the will, right? Or he gave us the tools to match up with our faith and our will. So where's the excuse? Should there be one? If he ordained us, if he gave us the power, he gave us the license, he gave us the go-ahead to do what?
That ye should go and bring forth fruit.
Right. So he gave you the power to first and foremost change. He gave you the power to change. He gave us the power to put off the old man and put on the new man. So where is the excuses at? Well, a lot of us like the old man. A lot of us like the old woman. We like the drama. We like the nonsense. We like the chaos. We like the attention and the negative attention, right? We like the toxic relationships. Some of us do. Some of us live off of that. But he gave you the power to not have to deal with that. So why not grab hold of that power? But see, the problem is, you know why a lot of women can't change out of that damn dog, dragon, talking down on their man mentality? Because you like the power the white man gave you to be his ruler. You like that power. You like the way that feels. You like how it feels to be able to lead your man about. But Christ gave you a different power. He gave you the power to be led and then to still lead. Right? But think about it. I ain't going to go into it. But he gave you a different power. What about the docile men that just want to be led? Well, he gave you the power to be a leader, bro. But don't you got to be a good follower? And don't you got to work on your qualities before you can lead anything? So what's the excuse? He gave you the power over alcohol. He gave you the power over drugs. He gave you the power over your flesh. You ain't got to run to every fat little booty you see. Did he not give us the power? So then what's the problem? I'm not running to every booty I see. Right? I mean, they know.
Lie. He's not.
Right? I'm not under the captivity of alcohol or drugs or pride or anger or hatred. That's why I say it's y'all and us. Because y'all should be saying, wait a minute. Listen, if anybody knows me, I used to love to drink. I used to love that drink.
Yep.
Right? Especially in my 20s. Come on, man. I was in there. I had a liver of steel. Right? And kidneys of iron. But now, nah. But the point is, can I be like that and be up here drunken? Walking in smelling like a McCormick's? Would y'all respect me on any level if I walked up in here and try to teach y'all and I'm drunk or faded? Or if y'all see me chasing women, would you have the same respect for me? No. Probably not, right? Would y'all have the same respect? No. Nah. I would lessen the fruit that I'm supposed to be bringing forth, right? Through my actions. Y'all would have a whole lot less respect. And really, you would have the excuse, well, I can't be around that. The brother's always drinking and always chasing women and beating on his woman and he's doing this and he's doing, you'd have the excuses, right? I wouldn't blame y'all for not wanting to be around, but y'all don't see us doing that. That's the point. Y'all don't see us doing any of those things that I named But how come y'all do it? How come that's the entanglement in your minds? That's the question. Is it because you like it? Or because you don't realize that you got the power to fight? And you don't put yourself underneath the power, the word, the tutelage of the Bible. It ain't me. I'm whack. He's Garbo, and he's Garbo number 2. It's, am I studying every night? Am I giving myself the opportunity to understand what I'm reading? Am I putting myself underneath that? Because if I'm ordained and a person that's not doing what they're ordained to do, what's going to happen? Somebody's going to step into that stead. Right? Finish it up.
And that your fruit should remain.
And it should what?
Remain.
And that the fruit should remain. That means what? One minute I'm the super righteous, gung-ho, gangster Israelite for Jesus Christ. Then the next minute I'm a nigga in the streets. No, you're supposed to remain the new guy. Not every situation all of a sudden I'm righteous in this instant, and then when I get around this crowd of people, I'm the damn devil. Does that even make sense? Like 1 minute you go to the fig tree and it gives you figs, then the next minute it gives you grapefruit. You'd be like, what the hell kind of fig tree is this?
Right.
Like, wait a minute. And then you'd be like, try to anticipate. Okay, so, fig. Nope, grapefruit. Dang. You want figs, but it's giving you apples. You wouldn't want to deal with that tree because now it's unpredictable and you don't know what it's going to give you. But it's still not giving you what it was intended to give you. Right? Remember, if we're supposed to be, he uses these trees and these parables to show us how we should be moving. Was that it on that?
That whatsoever you shall ask of the Father in my name,
right,
he may give it to you.
Go ahead. Right. That's it on that. And that's another reason why we don't get the things we want. Because we're not like these steadfast trees soaking up the knowledge, the information. We don't deserve half the things we ask for. Right? Jump back to where you want to go.
Luke 13:7.
Luke chapter 13, verse 7. Then said he unto the dresser of his vineyard, behold, these 3 years I come seeking fruits on this fig tree, and find none. Cut it down.
Do what?
Cut it down.
Man, Christ is like, get rid of this. Separate this person from the body. Separate this tree from my yard. It's taking up resources from the other ones.
Basically.
But guess what? In this parable, it's the master saying, do this. But in real life, and what happens with brothers and sisters, the spirit checks you. You start getting checked in your own spirit. And you start saying to yourself, ain't nothing turning out the way I wanted to. Still in the same situation. Still the same old me. Same predicament that I've been in. Nothing's different. That is a defining moment when the spirit is like, it's on the you're on the verge of cutting yourself off. You're getting convicted to cut yourself off. Because we're going to keep working with brothers and sisters. We're going to keep doing our job. We're going to be the husbandman, keep working and working and working. And we're trying to push to keep brothers and sisters locked in.
All right.
But then the master's going to come. Look, did Christ say he came with band-aids, sunshines, and rainbows? He said he's coming with a sword. He said, I'll put you at odds. Your enemies shall be those of your own household. He says that. He didn't say he came to kumbaya and everyone hugged together and one world of love. No, he came to put a difference between. And if there's no fruit, if there's no growth coming, he's going to come through and put a difference in the households. He's going to put a difference in the camp. Read on.
Why cumbereth it the ground?
Yeah, why take up the space? Read.
And he answering said unto him, Lord, let it alone this year also.
Look, and that's us. That's us. Hey, Yahweh, we praying for the congregation. We praying for Israel. We praying for all Israel. Look, Yahweh, hey, let us work some more. We can do better classes. We can do more counseling. We can set up more activities to unite the body together. We can put more things into place and more boundaries and more perimeters to make things work out better for these people, for these brothers, for these sisters, so that they can grow. Let us continue to work with them. Let us stand in the way between you and them. The destruction that you want to let happen on them. That's what Moses did. That's what Yahweh Shai did for us and is doing for us. That's what we keep trying to push. Read on.
So I shall dig about it and dung it.
I'm gonna dig about it. You know what? I'm gonna irrigate the ground. I'm gonna feed it with some more minerals and nutrients. You know, I'm gonna have more one-on-one time with the brother. I'm gonna have more one-on-one time with the sister so that they can kind of get it. And I'm gonna help brothers in Hebrew Academy. We're gonna implement different study habits so that they can grow. Right. Hey, brothers, one book a month. Hey, sisters, look at the sisters that are that's been around longer than you, and pick up the quality attributes of them and add it to yourself so that you can grow. Pick up these things. Like, we're trying to help y'all grow. We're trying to grow ourselves. We pushing to grow ourselves.
That's right.
Read on.
And if it bear fruit, well.
Hey, if they grow and they keep in the spirit, Barakatah Yahweh. Read.
And if not, then after that thou shalt cut it down.
Well, then after that, you'll cut it down. People, and like I said, people are cutting themselves down. You'll go from, I'm just now learning the truth, to coming to class on the Sabbath, and then you say, oh man, I'm really getting this. I like what I'm getting here. Now you want to come to class Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and on the Sabbath. And then after you start getting all that, and then you hit this little plateau in your understanding and your growth, well then you're like, well, I'm going to just go back to just the Sabbath. You know, there's things that I need to handle out here, so I'm not going to be able to show up or be around as much. Yeah, you know, my wife, my kids. It's like brothers would say, what person called off their job because they had an argument with their wife? Nobody. What person called off their job because her and her husband had a little disagreement? They were arguing. Oh, I can't show up to work today. Me and my husband are going through it.
They only do it to Jesus.
No, they only do it to the Lord. That's why the Lord makes the difference. This is the cutting away. This is the Lord moving you to the side. You starting to get dried up. Let's put that dryness to the side. And then a big fallout happens. I'm letting y'all know the progression of this. Big fallout happens. Why? Because the roots has been dried up. When a tree is rotten on the inside, aren't these the trees that when the hurricanes come or storms come by, they get uprooted, they break off and fall into houses and be all in the streets? Right. It's because they were dead inside. They weren't full of life and they weren't still growing. They were rotted.
Them roots weren't spread out enough to root it, to ground it. Yep.
And the master cuts it off. Look, even in this last verse and last precept, it said, if not, then after that thou shalt cut it down. Lord, you gonna cut it down. You gonna cut this person off. You're gonna separate this person. That's what you're gonna do. And well so, because it's deserving. But we're the husbandman that's trying to keep the tree alive. We're trying to push the tree to grow, to produce some fruit.
Yeah, because we don't want to see nobody get cut down.
No, that's the last thing we want to see.
We listen, all the things that brothers and sisters be going through, if I didn't have a strong stomach, I'd be damn cringing every moment because we don't like to hear it. We don't like to see it. For one, the one thing that y'all have to understand is this. There's no, and I'm gonna say this plainly, but then I'm gonna clear it up. There's no benefit to me for y'all to benefit, if that makes sense, right? But I will say this, that there is a benefit for all of us if we all benefit. Why? When one suffer, we all suffer. When one reign, we all reign, right? We're all part of the same body. We're all here together. We're all doing the same thing. So if you're going through it, guess what? I'm going through it.
Right.
Because whatever you're going through is going to diminish the things that you have to do, and then the slack has to be picked up. And that goes for everybody, right? So the whole point is that we all affect each other. It's not just me. What you go through affects McGunt. What you go through, Rosa, affects Angela. What the kids go through affects the other kids. Like, we all affect each other. We all have an effect, whether it be negative, whether it be positive, on one another. And when what do they say? What's the saying in the world? You're only as strong as your weakest link. And that's true, right? Because then the strain goes on all the other links. If you got a bad leg, all the strain goes on the other leg, but then what happens to that strong leg? It becomes weak, right? So again, we're constantly saying, look, how do we regurgitate this message, right? How do we remix the Bible? How do we remix these messages in these classes? Not for our benefit and our enjoyment, but really because we know one thing, that there is no school without any of us, right? What do we always say about the sisters? I know sometimes the sisters be like, man, we don't get enough credit, but we always say it, that the sisters are the backbone of the damn school. Without y'all, nothing. He wouldn't look like that without y'all. Come on, y'all made that garment. Sisters made that garment, right? Brothers would not have fresh garments, and I mean, sisters painted the school, and I could go through all the things that y'all do, day-to-day basis, month to month, right? But when you start to discredit yourself, you cut your own self down. But just a reminder that this is not what we look forward to doing. We look forward to exalting, right, and pushing brothers and sisters, but we hate to hear the things that sometimes you have to go through to get that growth, right? Those growing pains. Sometimes, man, some of those things are avoidable. Those are growing injuries. They're not really growing pain because you're not getting no gain from it. You got to come back from it, then you got to pump yourself up. Right? But if it's always an injury or a tap, and the Most High is always trying to put you back on course, then really, again, what do you tend to go to from that? You start to look at yourself as not worthy, and you self-condemn, and that affects us. That affects everybody. Because guess what? If a man is walking around condemned in his own mind, or a woman is walking around condemned in her own mind, and you're around us, and we're like, hey, what's going on? And you're like, nothing. What we gonna think? We gonna think it's us. We gonna think the problem is with us. So now we're still gonna be affected because we're trying to figure out what the hell is the problem. So you see, this is a detriment. Growth is a detriment for the body, not just for one individual. The arms. What's the point of having long ass arms and short knees? Doesn't the body gotta grow together? Right? Or you just gonna have long legs and a short torso? No, everything is supposed to grow cohesively. And that's what we want. That's what we need, right? We need to be able to do more things. I can't, listen, I guess I'm going to be a lifer in Houston. I can't go nowhere. If I leave this seat, who's going to step up in this seat? Who's ready? Who's ready to back these two up? So I'm condemned to Houston, the armpit of the world, the armpit of America. I'm condemned to this place because nobody wants to step up. No, but it's real though. Think about it. We can't do more if there's not enough people to do more things with. That's the point. Y'all see that? We got to be able to do more. But brothers and sisters got to step up to be able to do the more. Y'all see that?
What verse we at?
We finished verse 9.
All right. So from there, give me 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 14. And we're gonna go into how to grow. This is the last segment of class.
Yeah, we don't wish none of the negative things on anybody, but you know what the coldest part is? We be seeing them coming. It's not hard. We're not psychic. We just look at the works. We look at the works. That's it. We look at the pattern. We look at what you give yourself to and say, oh, well, that's easy. That's what's going to happen. Oh, he's studying every day. He's this. Oh, that brother, watch. He gonna be the next teacher. Right? It's easy. It's easy. It's easy to see through the fruit that you bear. Go ahead. Or it's easy to determine the fruit you're going to bear through what you're giving yourself to. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 14. Neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy.
Look, neglect not the gift that's in you. We're all part of the body of Christ. We all have different gifts and talents that we came in with. We all are beneficial in some way, shape, or form. Neglect not that gift that's in you. You have know-how. You're smart. You're intelligent.
You're the best.
You the best. You got things in you that Christ wanted to be a part of the body. That's why that was perfect when Quasi went to that scripture that he chose you. You didn't choose him, but he chose you. He chose us to bear fruit. He chose us because there was something in us that was different than everybody else that's out there that's not in here. That's why he chose you. Neglect not the gift. Know that you do have a gift. Know that you are here for a purpose. Look, I know everybody's backstory, and I know everybody's positive attributes to the body. I sit back and I've talked with you guys, and I always talk with y'all, and I know how your benefit is, but don't let it stop there. Know that you're beneficial, but do what the scriptures say. And covet the best gifts. His gift he came in with is supposed to infect and spread amongst all of us, so that we can get and grasp the gift that he has. His, hers. We're all supposed to be grasping from each other.
Right.
But neglect not that gift that you got. And the gift that's in the multiplying and the abundance of the gift through other brothers and sisters. They came in. Y'all are growing. Y'all got fruit. But don't get dried up. Don't get stagnant. Read on.
With the laying on of the hands of the presbytery.
Yeah, laying on the hands, the ordaining. Look, the councils, the talks. Read on.
Meditate upon these things. Give thyself wholly to them.
So meditate on what's going to help you to grow. What is it that helps us to grow? What does he want us to meditate on? Where should our meditation be? In the scriptures, right? In the Bible, on the law, on the word, on the wisdom. It tells you that in Ecclesiasticus, what is that, 38? 38 and 1. That when a man meditates, 39 and 1. That when a man is meditating on the law and on the wisdom, you'll see that come forth out of him. You'll see the good fruit. You'll see the wisdom come from him, because he'll now be able to use it and apply it. So we're supposed to be listen. I've been listening to this. I listen to this podcast all the time. It's called 5 Things. It's Dr. Sanjay Gupta, right? He used to be like the chief medical examiner for the United States. I think he actually still is, right? But he does this podcast, and he's been going through and talking about, like, this new one that he's doing is about social media, and he's been going into social media, cell phones, and how it's affected, like when smartphones really came out, and TikTok and algorithms, and they got something called what do they call it? They got something called a mediatrician. Y'all ever heard of that? A mediatrician. You ever heard of a pediatrician? Mm-hmm. That's for children, right? A doctor for kids. They got a doctor for people that consume too much media.
Oh, wow.
A mediatrician. Because they're looking and saying that people are just losing it and going into depression mode. But what are they meditating on? Well, I'm not good enough. I'm not this. I'm ugly. I'm not smart. But what are they looking at? They're looking at beautiful ass people on Instagram and TikTok.
You know what? You just remind me of something. I was watching the show.
Okay.
And they were like stuck in VR land, and they weren't stuck, but people were addicted to the VR.
Yeah.
And then this dude was a counselor of people
trying to pull them out.
Yeah, because they're depressed, they hate their life because outside of VR, their life is crap.
Well, because they're comparing their life. Like there was one dude, he was talking. He was like actually in this podcast, he's talking to actual people. The dude said he used to be a content creator, that he became a content critique, where he's just watching TikTok. And he said one day he was watching so long the sun came up. He didn't go to work. Right? And then when that happened, he was like, wait a minute, so I haven't slept all day. I haven't slept in a day looking at TikTok. Dang. So he said he cold turkeyed it. When he cold turkeyed the TikTok, the depression went away, the anxiety went away, the I'm ugly, I'm not attracted, like all that went away. Because he's pitting himself against, come on, content creators, IG models, right? The women do it. You're looking at an IG model that, if you look at the before and after pic, first of all, it's mad Photoshop. It's mad Photoshop in her waist and in her buns and in her breasts. They Photoshop that to make it look perfect, right? But then you're comparing your imperfect self to that, or the way the Most High created you, and you're saying, damn, that's what I want. They're on the beach, the water is extra crispy blue, like the bluest water ever, and the water is really green, right? They making themselves, they in the hotel lobby, but they just in the lobby. They ain't got no room in the hotel. They just taking photos, right? You see how it goes. A lot of these people are getting put on blast, but the point is, we're meditating more on what we see in media, social media, and those things, and meditating less on what's going to promote our growth, which is the word. Go ahead.
That thy profiting.
That thy what?
Thy profiting.
See, why don't we profit in anything? Why aren't you profitable? See, I ordained you to bring forth fruit. Yeah. Right? That's where you were supposed to profit yourself and someone else. Because when you read the next verse down, he said, I command that you love one another. The fruit was that you had love for the person next to you. Yeah. Right? And what is love? The keeping of the commandments, right? Loving your neighbor as yourself. Loving the Most High with all your heart. That was the fruit that he wanted, that you loved the man and the woman next to you, that you treated them with dignity, with respect, that you loved your wife, that you loved your brothers, right? That you loved your children, that we dealt with each other with a high level of morality, that we weren't dogging our women out, that our women weren't dogging the men out, that we weren't just leaving our kids to be raised by a bunch of damn psychopaths. That's what he wanted. That's what the Most High wants from us. Go ahead.
All right, I sit on that.
Right. Oh, mic drop.
Ecclesiasticus, chapter 6, verse 23.
You gonna end it after this?
Yes, sir.
This is gonna be the last one. We'll end it after this. We're trying to end on time. I know he could be real long-winded. Go ahead. You talk more than me now.
It's the goal.
Oh, wow.
Got goals.
It's terrible. That's your growth?
No.
Go ahead. Where we at?
Ecclesiasticus chapter 6, verse 23. Give ear, my son. Receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel.
So, this is the Bible speaking. Everything that we were bringing out throughout the whole class. Give ear. Refuse not the counsel. Take it seriously. Take the advice. It's going to help you. Let me help me help you. Read on.
And put thy feet into her fetters, and thy neck into her chain.
Go ahead and lock yourself in. Put the shackles on. Put the yoke on the neck. Be ready to work. Come in ready to plow and sow. Hey, you were in your youth. You still need to be taught again? Well, come with a better mindset now. Ready and willing to let the ground be broken up. And hold on, Manashah, don't pass by the camera.
Bro, come on, go that way. You know better.
So that you can grow. So that you can be a benefit. A true benefit, a true asset in the body of Christ. Read on.
Can I say one thing? This whole prisoner mentality is not anything far-fetched. Why? Because, again, we made ourselves prisoner to drugs, sex, rock and roll. No, how you say it? Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Right? And, all the other things in between. You made yourself a prisoner to the dude that didn't treat you right, to the chick that wasn't there, that wasn't going to be there for you. We made ourselves, we attached and chained ourselves to the wrong ideas for our entirety of our lives. What does it say in here? Well, chain yourself to something that's going to be profitable and that's going to benefit you. Tie yourself down and anchor yourself to that old ball and chain of wisdom. But think about the things we've already anchored ourselves to and chained ourselves to and made that the anchor, the thing that holds us down. Like, how has the weed held you down? How is the drugs and how has those things held you down? Well, they did. They held you back. They held you back from growth, pills and popping pills and bad eating and all these things, man. How have they held you down or have they drowned you and held you down?
Yeah.
Right? Go ahead.
Verse 25. Bow down thy shoulder and bear her, and be not grieved with her bonds.
Be not grieved with the restriction, the straight and narrow path to walk. Don't be grieved with the correction. Don't be grieved with the counsel. Don't be grieved with the scriptures.
Don't be grieved with the process. Don't be upset about the process of growth. It's a long process. It's painful, but it's also joyful. Right? When you see those gains, when you hit that gym and you flex in that mirror and you see the arms poking out, yeah, you got some stretch marks a little bit, but that's growth. When your chest looking like Yashakar's, any man would be happy. You know what I'm saying? When you got that Montezuma chest, right? It's just out there, right? You're just a mighty man. Any man would be happy with that chest. But it took work. It took work, right? He couldn't do 4 push-ups. He couldn't do 2 push-ups and act like he got a big chest. That's what I do, right? Do 1 push-up and I'm in there, right? But the point is, you got to go through the process. You got to go through the exercise, right? Go ahead.
Verse 26. Come unto her with thy whole heart, and keep her ways with all thy power.
Come with your whole mind ready and willing. And keep the ways. Keep all the instructions that you've been gathering from your youth. And, okay, you're reliving your youth. Well, guess what? A man once told me, it's never too late to start making a good decision. Never too late. So, hey, you made mistakes. Okay, let's redo this. Let's start making good decisions now.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Search and seek, and she shall be made known unto thee.
That's only if you're coming with your whole mind, though.
Right.
If you come with your whole mind and you're allowing yourself to be baptized in this, you'll find it. You'll see.
You'll find the growth that you're looking for. Yeah, go ahead.
And when thou hast got hold of her, let her not go.
Read.
For at the last thou shalt find her rest.
You'll find what?
Thou shalt find her rest.
Because there is a rest. It's not always toil and torment and bad situations, and it's like I can tell you like this. The things that I dealt with 5 years ago, if it comes right back up to my door, it's nothing to me. It's just like, oh, did that before. It's easy to deal with. I can deal with it easy. I find rest. The things that bother me don't bother me no more. I'm at rest. I don't have the anxiety. I don't have the depression. I'm not worrying about what she doing or someone checking up on me. I'm not worried about things.
And you know what? It goes back to what? Once you put yourself in the position to grow, you can rest in that growth. Meaning what? You can rely on the things that you grew in. Again, just ask yourself, how much ganja and drugs and all these other things could you really rest in? Can you rest in the music? Right? Can you rest in rap music? Can you rely on it for some level of comfort or peace? No. Right? All the things we tried to rest in and make it our rest and make it our comfort. The only thing you can rest in is wisdom. Go ahead.
And that shall be turned to thy joy.
That shall be what?
Turned to thy joy.
Right, so that same thing you worked hard for and you plowed and sowed, that's going to be the thing you can look back on, and that's what you can take joy in. Right?
Counting your blessings. Sit back and count your blessings and see where you started and where you came.
That's one thing.
Yeah.
You know,
He speaks.
Just on this class of growth and detrimental and everything like that, I'm gonna be completely honest with everyone in class, everybody that's online, right? Just from like my time being a part of the school and just me seeing people that do grow and people that don't grow. I had a good talk with S.O.W today about, just this and the mall. And I'm gonna be 100% honest and blunt. I've seen brothers that's on the podium, that's up here, that teaches. I've seen them fall off and go back into being worldly men. And I've seen sisters that's been around too, that fall off and go back into the world because they stop looking to grow, they stop looking to do things. And like for the brothers and for the brothers that like never made it up here to be able to teach, I've been able to see why they haven't. And it's all about growing. It's all about trying to do more. So like for the men that's been up here, a lot of the times like you can see that they fell because they stopped trying to push themselves to be better, to grow. And for the ones that's never been up here, you can see that they fell off because they were never trying to be better. They were just here. So what I'm being real and honest about with all of y'all in here is like, if you're a man and you're not trying to be up here, I'm gonna be blunt, like you're wasting your time. You might as well go to another school or another camp, because I haven't seen one that hasn't tried to make it up here that just stayed there, that's still here. Because even the ones that do make it up here, it's even a fight to stay up here and to keep trying to push yourself to teach, to grow and to take it to the next level. But the ones that don't, the ones that just want to be here on Saturdays for Sabbath class, or just show up for feast days or whatever the case may be, that lasts for a certain amount of time and then eventually they're gone. And it's not just like that here. I'm sure it's like that in San Antonio. I'm sure it's like that in VA. Mm-hmm. And it's gonna be like that in New York too. And for the sisters that don't ever wanna like take the next step and be around and be an integral part of the process of everything that's going on, then eventually they end up, like the scriptures say, they endure for a time. Yep. You're gonna endure for a time, but the inevitable is gonna come where you will not be here. when the inevitable hits. So it's like, I'm just being honest. If you're not trying to grow, then you're wasting your time. Go to a school where you can just show up on a Saturday, where it is just a Saturday thing, and it's just a Sabbath thing. But here, like everything that we do here, it's this process where if you're not doing it 100%, from what I've seen, you're wasting your time. I'm sure Shirok can attest. She's seen many come and go. You're wasting your time. So with this thing of growth, with this class of growth that we're going over, the only way that you can survive and stand the test and be able to endure into the end, like Christ said, like it's literally to always have this process to let me get better. Like you can look at like sports players, and you can look at like a cat like LeBron James. Like he's 6'9", weighs however much he weighs. He just became the scoring champion of the NBA, right? But there's been many 6'9" basketball players, but there's only one LeBron. But you could talk, you see LeBron's work ethic, and you could see LeBron in year 21 or year 22. The dude still talks about trying to get better at something that he sucks at. He still talks about, I got to improve in this, I got to improve in that. But you could look at him and be like, what do you got to improve on? You're in a conversation for one of the best to ever do it, but anybody that reaches a certain level of their craft, they're always looking to be better. Like that never stops until they retire. And then they put their feet up, whether it's sports, whether it's their careers out in the world, whatever it is that they take seriously, they're always looking to better their craft. But when you look at Israelites that come into the truth, that learn about the truth, they don't give a damn about bettering their craft, if I'm being honest. You see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta come up here and tell brothers to study your soldier's test. What does the soldier's test consist of? Hebrew? Like, you say you're a Hebrew, but you don't even know the alphabet for Hebrew. But we gotta sit here and tell brothers to do that. But it's like, why even say that you're Hebrew then? If you can't even if you're not even pushing yourself to learn it. We could sit here and learn all the damn Hebrew music and make Hebrew music and stuff, but them same cats don't even know the alphabet. Well, what does the test consist of? The 12 tribes? So what, you're an Israelite, but you don't know the 12 tribes? Or where their location is? Mm-hmm. Or the 10 Commandments? Y'all see what I'm saying? Like, it's basic stuff. It's not for anybody else but for yourself. Because if you are gonna say this, then at least know the small bit. You see what I'm saying? At least know. That's like saying I'm a basketball player, but I don't understand the rules. I'm gonna go shoot at the wrong side of the court. Oh, I didn't know I was gonna get 2 points for shooting a 3-pointer. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like saying you're a part of a career or a part of a craft, but you don't even take the craft seriously. But this is your life. This is your salvation. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy when it's very crazy when you can see like people that aren't even Israelites like care more about the word and care more about just being a part or doing what it is that they need to do than we ourselves do. We sit here, man, and we just hear it like it's a fact. Like nobody's really trying to push the growth. Not telling anybody here, but just from my experience and my time being here, it hasn't been easy. Like the struggles and the different things that I've been through, just in my experience, just fighting for this, it hasn't been easy. But the one thing that I can say that's kept me going is that I always tried to grow. I always tried to do the next thing or accomplish the next goal. That's what's kept me going. Even when and if I fall, that's what's made me get up. Is the fact that I had something to push for. So my question to y'all is, what the hell do you have to push for? Or are you just here? But if you don't have nothing to push for, you're not trying to be better at something, then the inevitable is going to come. It's like I got something to push for now, but if I ever lose that hunger and that drive to push for something new or to push for something better, then I won't be here. I'll be back into the world doing whatever it was that I was doing before I learned His word and before I learned His knowledge. I'll be doing much worse, like the scripture says. You see what I'm saying? So just on this class, the detriment of growth, it's very detrimental. Because if you don't grow, you die.
Yeah. That's it. That's it on that. If for your notes, you can just put the rest of that chapter all the way down to the end. So
Any questions on that? All right. We thank everybody online for joining us. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We will see y'all back here next Wednesday online. But for everybody else, we'll see y'all on Friday. All right. With that, we're going to say shalom.
Shalom.
Chilling up in the kingdom, chilling with Yahweh Shai and all the